Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the January 21st Diversion Authority Finance Committee meeting. Call the meeting to order. Don, would you please call the roll?
It's you.
Here?
We can't hear you, Don.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Mayor Dardis.
Here.
Mayor Mahoney. Mayor Carlson.
Here.
Mr. Steen.
Here.
Ms. Thompson.
Here.
Ms. Johnson. Mr. Redlinger.
Here.
Mr. Grimberg.
Here.
Mr. Peckhorn.
Here.
Mr. Capitan.
Here.
Mr. Reeds.
Here.
And Ms. Einley.
Here.
Quorum is present.
Thank you, Don. Next order of business is to approve the minutes of December 12th, or 17th, excuse me. They have been distributed and in your packets.
I'll make the motion.
I have a
Second.
motion and a second to approve the minutes of December 17th as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 3 is the approval of the agenda. Again, it has been distributed and in the packet.
Move to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a second. We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda for December 21st, 2026 as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 4, we call on Susan Thompson, Finance Director for the City of Fargo, for the approval of bills. Susan?
Thank you. These are the bills that were received through January 14th. There are about a dozen of them. It's like a bit of a light month. The total is $1,257,444.35.
Any questions for Susan with regarding these bills?
Well, but isn't that a little bit below the 2 million that Commissioner Grinberg thought we'd be spending each month? That's good, right?
Oh, he's talking about per day.
Oh, per day. Oh, that's right. Move to approve.
I have a motion to approve the bills as presented for $1,257,444.35. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Grinberg. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Don, would you please call the roll? Yes.
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 Aye. 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 Yes.
Yes.
Susan, could you please repeat as of what date?
As of January 14th,
Thank you.
2026.
Don, you may have to turn your mic up.
Okay, I'll see if we
Go on.
can, is that better?
Next order of business is number 5. We're on the finance report. Again, we call on Susan Thompson, the Finance Director for the City of Fargo. It has been attached to the packets, and it's on page 28. Susan?
Thank you. Page 28 lists the revenues and expenditures starting in 2021, and then we actually have year-to-date now for 2025. And then the next page, 29, that is our net position. So I think we talked last month about the new risk-sharing fund. So the total assets for all 3 of the funds are $262,454,065. There's just a few liabilities that need to be paid, $181,943. So net position of $262,272,122. And I did not put that little box at the bottom, but I don't know who did it. Someone in preparation. I think the idea is that we'll watch our cash trickle down through the year, is what I think that intent was.
Thank you for that. Are there any questions, Ms. Thompson? Anyone? This is an actionable item and a voice vote.
Move to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a second. We have a motion and a second to approve the finance report as presented by Susan Thompson for $262,272,122. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. We move on to item number 6, our cash budget report. Call on Jason Benson, the Executive Director. It has been distributed, is on page 54 of the packet. Mr. Benson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, committee members. Both on the funding side and on the expense side, we've closed out our books at the end of the year. So this is the December, the report goes through the end of December. And all in all, our revenues were pretty much where we saw them. A couple of different areas were just a little bit below on both the City of Fargo and Cass County sales tax. And then the big one is that WIFIA draw, which we didn't make any draws out of this year, and we expect, within the next 3 to 4 months, we're going to start making significant draws on that. Outside of that, nothing else of out of the ordinary of concern on this. If there's any questions.
Questions for Mr. Benson?
All right, then we'll move on to the overall level 1 summary for expenses. Again, we ended the year below expenses on that second line item, the milestone payments to developer through the agreement, the settlement agreement with them. We did make a good chunk of those expenditures, that $103 million, and we expect to make a lot of these expenditures in 2026 with that $1 billion budget for 2026, where about $750 million of that is in the milestone payments. And then others, lands and third-party MOUs, we also came in below expectations on those expenditures, mainly, as we work through the lands process and eminent domain cases, as well as some of those third-party MOU mitigation type activities that we're still working and expect to start this year and finish up in 2027. So with that, if there's any questions.
Questions for Mr. Benson? Please continue.
All right, that concludes my report.
All right, thank you, sir. Any questions at all? For reference, our cash budget for sales tax collections in Fargo and Cass County was $66,500,000 was the projected. We are at about $64 million and change, so we're about $2 million off on those numbers. This is a point of reference. I have one question. With the cash budget carryover of $22,424,735, how does that apply to 2026? Will that money?
Which line was that again, Mr. Chair?
Your cash budget carryover.
The 222 million.
Yeah.
Yes, so that's a lot of that's included then in our 2026 expenditures, because most of those expenditures were expected to be done in 2025, and now we expect them to be completed in 2026. So it's basically just rolled those into the 2026 budget.
Very good. Thank you. Anything else from Mr. Benson? Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks.
Item number 7 is the Diversion Authority Board approval contracting actions. We call on Chris Bakkegaard. It's on page 61 of the packet. It has been distributed. Chris?
Thank you, Chair Dardis, members of the Finance Committee. Today we have 4 contracting actions for your consideration. 2 of them are amendments to one of our consultant contracts and to our bid openings that we have held in the last month. So the first 2 for task orders 5 and 6, they're similar amendments. They're some additional funding that we needed for the wrap up of 2025 with the CH2M Hill or Jacobs contract. One is for their program project management services. That's the first line item. And the second is for their P3 procurement. Both of those relate to the same basic items. We processed a lot more paperwork. We had to process submittals several times in many cases to keep things rolling on the P3. So with that, there was some additional expenditures that we had with the CH2M Hill contract. So we're recommending approval of both of those task orders. Task order 5 in the amount of $261,687.17, and task order 6 an amount of $378,299.50. One thing that's not on here, just for reference, their task order 4, which is their lands task order, underran slightly this year, so they will be returning about $312,000 to the overall program budget in that task order. So our net increase for the year for CH2M Hill was about $328,000, but just, again, these are separate task orders, so we're asking for approval of the increases here, but just understand behind the scenes there will be a deduct for, as we reconcile task order 4 for the year. So maybe with that, I'll stop and ask if there's any questions related to the task order amendments before we do the bid openings.
Any questions on item 7A and 7B? Please continue.
Sounds right. Thanks, Chair. The third item is a bid opening for pavement repairs on I-29. This is some work that surfaced after the completion of the I-29 grade raise in the south part of across the southern embankment. There were some cracks that developed and some settlement that occurred at some expansion joints that need to be repaired to fix things to the DOT standard. We opted, instead of running that back through a separate core contract, we opted to do that as a diversion authority process. I think it helped us be more efficient and save actually overall money by just programming that between the diversion authority and the DOT directly. I think that factored into the announcement that Senator Hoven made the other day, that's just his money that's coming back to us through the core underspend dollars. So we had agreed to take this on. We opened those bids. We received 3 bids as are shown on the screen. The low bid was from PCI Construction, an amount of $606,443.85. They're also doing some work for the DOT in the area, so I think that attributed to the good bid we received from them. But again, that was just about $100,000 under our engineer's estimate, which was well received. The final item for consideration today is one of our property structure mitigation projects. This is a farmstead project, so it was a slightly larger one, so it exceeded our threshold for staff level approval. So we're bringing that here for recommendation for award. This was, again, a farmstead OIN 2016. We received 5 bids. Again, the engineer estimate was about $318,000, low bid of $263,600 from Lyle Wilkins Incorporated. So again, we're recommending award of that property mitigation project as well. So with that, I'll stand for any additional or any questions you guys might have.
Questions for Mr. Bakkegaard?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
Maybe Chris
Mr.
can
Grinberg.
shed a little more color on the road repairs. I mean, that road out there is not very old, and isn't there traditional warranty that covers some of this stuff if it was not installed properly? I'm just, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, so thank you, Commissioner Grimberg. This was beyond the Corps of Engineers warranty period when these cracks originally showed up and the settlement occurred. So we did not have a direct recourse with the contractor. We couldn't prove that there's any latent defects or any major issues with the construction. So unfortunately, it was just some settlement that had occurred beyond what we anticipated with the way the Corps and the consultants designed the project. So we unfortunately did not have a recourse with the Corps contractor to do those repairs in this particular case.
So then there must have been some post-testing and determination that soil testing wasn't sufficient, or what was the evidence with the review that, I mean, soil testing as part of the engineering design, it's not supposed to happen. So there obviously is a reason it happened.
Yeah, there's been some speculation. It's hard to know for sure exactly what happened until we open the road back up. There is some potential that some water maybe got trapped underneath these expansion joints, and then through the expansion and contraction of that through freeze thaw caused the issue. Again, won't know for certain and may never know for certain, Commissioner, on what actually happened, but again, there was no evidence that it was a direct construction-related flaw. The detail is a similar detail that the North Dakota DOT uses in other similar situations. Probably not very many of those that have been built on embankment that was built quite as high as ours. So, I mean, could be just some latent settlement there that just couldn't be taken out with the timing of construction.
No, I appreciate that, and I would assume then this is not a budgeted item.
This was not a budgeted item, no.
Well, for what it's worth, I bet we'll revisit another crack in the near future if they couldn't determine and engineer it correctly in the front end, so.
So the question, because of the settling, then there was an issue with snow removal by the North Dakota DOT, is that not correct?
That's correct, yes. That's when they first discovered it, is they caught one of the expansion joints with their truck plows last winter, yes.
One more question. You stated that it was out of the warranty period. What is the warranty period on a situation like this?
Traditionally, the warranty periods are 1 year from the date of construction.
Thank you. Any additional questions for Mr. Bachgard? All right, we are on 7A, B, C, and D. We can take them one at a time, or whatever's your pleasure. Commissioner Steen,
I'll move to approve board approval contracting actions 7A, B, C, and D.
I have a motion to approve board approval contracting actions, 7A, B, C, and D. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Capitan seconds. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Any additional discussion? Hearing none. Don, would you please call the roll? Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Steen?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Rindlinger?
Yes.
Mr. Grimberg?
Aye.
Mr. Pepcorn?
Aye.
Mr. Capitan?
Aye.
Mr. Reese?
Aye.
And Ms. Heinley?
Yes.
That is everyone.
Thank you, Don. The motion passes. The next order of business, other business, is 8A is the election of the vice chair of the Finance Committee.
Move Rick Steen.
We have a motion for Rick Steen.
Second.
A nomination, excuse me, and a second. Is there any further nominations? Is there any further nominations? Is there any further nominations? Nominations are closed. We're going to do a roll call vote, so Don, would you please call the roll for the election of the vice chairman of Rick Steen, the Finance Committee?
Mayor Dardis?
Yes.
Mayor Carlson?
Absolutely.
Mr. Steen?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Rindlinger?
Yes.
Mr. Grimberg?
Aye.
Mr. Pepcorn?
Aye.
Mr. Capitan?
Aye.
Mr. Reese?
Yes.
And Ms. Heinley?
Yes.
That is everyone.
Motion passes. Congratulations, Mr. Steen. Item 8B is the amendment to flowage easement and modification to the RIMP mortgage for OIN 1824 times 2. Mr. Shockley, I stumbled through that, so hopefully you'll do a better job.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I was just thinking about, I thought I heard a train coming down the track, but I could be wrong from the last action. Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the Finance Committee. Before you is a housekeeping matter. Previously, the MCC JPA had purchased some flowage easement property from property owner and recorded a flowage easement on that property along with a RIMP program loan, which has been previously authorized by this board and by the Diversion Authority Board. It was several months ago, it was discovered that the recorded survey for the easement had inadvertently noted it as Zone 4C instead of 4A. And so we needed to bring it back to this board and then ultimately the Diversion Authority to consent to the amendment to both the flowage easement and to the RIMP loan to get that survey corrected. So it's just a technical update to the documents, but it does require board approval.
Thank you, Mr. Shockley. Questions? Mr. Steen?
I had a question earlier. Asked, there's no financial implication to this, correct?
Correct. It's just changing the survey.
So I move to approve.
I have a motion to approve items 8B, the amendment to the flowage easement as presented by Mr. Shockley. Is there a second?
I'll second.
I have a second. I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, Don, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Dardis.
Yes.
Mayor Carlson.
Yes.
Mr. Steen.
Yes.
Ms. Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. Redlinger.
Yes.
Mr. Grimberg.
Aye.
Mr. Pepcorn.
Aye.
Mr. Capitan.
Aye.
Mr. Reeds.
Yes.
And Ms. Einley.
Yes.
That is everyone.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 9 is, our next meeting is set for February 25th, 2026. Does any Finance Committee member have anything that they'd like to bring forward at this time? Does any department head have anything that you'd like to bring forward at this time? Staff? All right. With that, we stand adjourned. Thank you.